I hear him call, the story ever told. Somewhere far along his long, he lost his soul to a woman so heartless. How could you be so heartless? Hey, how are ya? How you doing? That's great. Remember that episode of Housewives, Phaedra and her mama? That's right. Just do it with me. Do it with me one time. Nobody's gonna judge you. Just do it with me one time. All right, ready? Okay, 1, 2. No, you weren't ready. You weren't. Okay. All right. We'll just let it just come to us. We'll just let it come to us. Something about it is extremely satisfying, especially when you like feel the vibrations in your throat. Pause. You're tuned into an all new episode. Yeah, you know what? All of the episodes is new unless you're listening to it for the second time. So I feel like that's a redundant statement. It's an all new episode. That I don't know. Maybe I'm high. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, this is episode like number 130. I don't know. 130. Come on, someone tell me quick. 134. Beat ya, bitch. Yes. Episode 134. Remember when we started in the parking lot of the gym down in on Flowertown Road, on Flowertown Pike? Yep, down there. We sure did. On that gravel. We had to record like 2 or 3 times before we actually got it right. And we cried. Yes, we did cry. That was like, what, 2016, 2017 maybe? And it is 2021. I don't do anything weird with the episodes where I go from like 1 to number 50. Like, we have literally been with each other for 134 of them things, bitch. So shout out to you, and shout out to just our friendship and the pushing me for greatness. And you know what's funny? This week I caught up with a friend who is working on some A Seat at the Table podcast work for Sistren, and partnering up with me. And, at any rate, the person was kind of saying to me, I'm going to push you, and I'm going to, this is greatness, and I see it for you. And, it made me think about all of the people who are great, and how much it is pivotal that they be planted in soil that supports, their greatness, and I just thought to myself, like, it is not just vital that I have people around me who support my greatness, and I present myself, and I dress the part, and I speak the part, and I hang out with people who are the part, and I do the things, and it's not just vital that that is the case, but it's also vital that I align above me, and that I am spiritually and emotionally grounded to be able to kind of flow with that current, the current that supports that kind of energy. Child, how was your work week, bitch? Shout out to all of y'all that are really like enjoying this Panic at the Disco time, where you're working from home and you are seemingly needing to be socialized again, because I don't know what you're going to do when you get to go back outside into the real world, child. Because they're about to open up outside. That's why all these celebrities is giving so much right now. They are just a groundswell of things happening in your timeline. I feel like they really think they finna get busy on you, bitch. Like, truly, I think it's gonna be like just a groundswell of music. Yeah, I really do. I see that. Shout out to Rihanna, who just celebrated a birthday. Yeah. And we just found out that her Fenty lingerie brand is now valued at $1 billion, which is not hard to believe. I've heard nothing but great things about the subscription. For those of you who buy your lingerie and your shirts and your things via a subscription, your food, your vitamins via a subscription, a wine club via your subscription. If that works for you, do your thug thing. I am not a subscription girl. Child, I probably still owe BMG $1 million for them CDs. Shit. Bitch. Anyways, your work week. So, this week for me at work was a very interesting week. And I think a lot of that, not because there isn't the usual, it's work. You know what I mean? It's work. But it's interesting because work is one of those places where you cannot curate, the personalities around you. And I think that is something that has been a downfall to the pandemic, is if you have chosen during this time to be around certain people, it is a finely curated group of people, and you've probably been around those same people for the entire year. Most of the people that I know have spent a pandemic year together. So if it's friends, you've traveled together, you've come back, you chill together, you do everything together. Everyone has been kind of I've kind of been hanging out with the same people all year, or at least for the past year. And so work is one of those places where you don't get to curate, the people around you. It is just a group of people who just so happen to be put together at the same place at the same time for hopefully a common purpose. Now, a lot of times what happens is it is a hotbed for egos to exist. And that is because everyone is there. Your work is how you get paid, and any threat to that, or what you perceive as a threat to that, whether it is a threat to the stability of work, or it is a threat to the environment in which you are. Most people, myself included, still try to curate what the vibe is around them. So for me, one of the things that I've learned through mindfulness is that nothing is a coincidence. And every time I see certain situations being reflected back in my life, I know that those are as a result of a vibration. There's something, it is not from nowhere. The universe is responding to what it is that I am emitting, whether it be conscious or unconscious. And what I found happening a lot this week is that I felt like, I was being challenged on it felt a lot like challenged on an egoic level, because I couldn't immediately identify direct causes for these kind of locking of the horns that were happening between myself and, other people. And at first I was like, well, what the fuck is their problem? What is this person's problem? What is that person's problem? Like, what the fuck? But I always try to step back and say, all right, well, wait a minute now. Before you wonder what this problem is and start to say, what they need to do is, instead of this is what they need to do. And that's when you start to go down the rabbit hole of the ego, kind of, what it's like watching water spiral down a drain. You start to get into that rhythm of like, yeah, that's what that person needs to do. And that's what they fucking problem is. And you truly kind of miss the opportunity to step back and take stock with, what is it that I am emitting that is causing the universe to reflect back at me in such a way that feels combative in my case. And so I had to examine, like, what's up? Like, do you have a problem with your own state of authority? What's your comfort level with it? Do you have a problem with kind of the way that you are being perceived right now? Like, what you are meaning to convey. However, is that truly what people are picking up on? Like, what's the vibe right now? What's your vibe? Which then caused me to have to kind of give further examination with myself. And, I know how I'm well-meaning and well-conveying, but that's not what people are picking up on. And, so I don't know. I just had to really examine that, especially in the workplace, because, when you are looking to accomplish something, you see any obstacle, whether it be thing or person, is just that, an obstacle to the final goal, right? And if this person can't get with you, or if this thing can't be fixed or changed, then you're going to steamroll over it, because ultimately you get paid for a service or a good, and you are going to provide that, lest you not be able to provide for yourself. And that's the honest to God's truth. But work is an interesting ground for you to really test your ego, test your mind, and test your level of consciousness. And so, I found myself needing time to step away from work. And I had some outside things happening as well that I needed to take care of, and, familial things and going on, but thank goodness all is well. But, I found myself feeling like, what? Whether you are home or you are actually out there in the field during this time, what is most important to me is protecting the state of my being, my consciousness, and being able to make sure that what it is that is inside of me, I'm not just acting. So I'm not just conveying happiness. I'm not just acting happiness. I'm not just, because I'm put together, I'm conveying perfection to you, or whatever the case is. She's put together, so she must be together. It's not just anymore about the presence of conveying good or conveying quality. It is about embodying that so that the world can then reflect back to me truly who I am. So, and it seems as though we are pulling up to the table right at the very start. So let's just do it. But, it's important that we always take the opportunity to ensure that, that we are real. And real from the standpoint of, let's get loud. I don't know why I said I'm real, and it made me think of J-Lo, and it just made me think of an inappropriate singing moment. But nonetheless, it's super important, though, that, like, when you talk about mindfulness and consciousness and intention and awakening and accountability and all those buzzwords that sound so good when you say them, and they sound great on paper and they sound great to be associated with the ego you. But if you truly understand the idea that the world is reflected back to you, and you're a constant,